Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cypher Slacker, and I am back with a third video for my series of just, like, what if, man? Like, what if we got new waves for Shining Sark, new waves for Millennium Exodia, and a new wave for Metalmorph. So let's take a look at the cards. So Metalmorph is actually an interesting deck because it supports not one but two characters decks. It supports half Joey and half Bandit Keith. So interestingly enough, the last three cards for this deck have been Joey based, which was the Metal Flame Swordsman, the the Flame Coating Metalmorph, and the Red Eyes Metal Claws Dragon. Now, I don't want to see this just become a Joey thing. Like, I think that they can diverge and do both equally, and we're going to talk about that. So, we've got the Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon, which was the original, and we saw the Red Eyes Full Metal Dragon along with Metal Zoa and then the new Metal Zoa X. Both of these bigger guys had the option to basically reveal it in hand. Okay, you can reveal this card in hand and then set one Metalmorph trap from your deck. And then if you do, you shuffle it back. So that was pretty much both of these had, that effect. And then they had an extra effect where the Red Eyes Metal Flame, I'm pretty sure was an Omni Negate. And then this guy, what did he do? Up to twice per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect or a spell, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it. So he's a pop. He's a twice per turn pop. And then we kind of get to the middle level. The middle level, I want to say that these are somewhat better than these because like Zoa, the Fiendish Beast, is based off of Zoa, and this is a Fiend that says if your opponent controls a monster, you can normal summon this without triggering. So it's technically a normal summon, kind of, but not really. But you could also, if this card is in your hand, you can special summon it in defense position. So it's a normal summon, but it's also a special summon. And then if Max Metalmorph is not in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon one from their deck, and then you can set a Max Metalmorph from your deck. Then we got the Red Eyes Metal Claw Dragon, which was a retrain of the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Basically, this says you can activate Metalmorph traps to turn they were set. Now, this is honestly, I think, one of the better pieces of support for this deck because it allows you to actually kind of like do something turn one. So you can activate Metalmorph traps to turn they were set. You can only use the following effects once per turn. You can send one face down card you control the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special, and you have max Metalmorph on the field or in your graveyard, you can add one Metalmorph trap from your deck or grave to your hand. So not bad. Then we've got the Metal Flame Swordsman, which is based on the OG Flame Swordsman. Actually, he's a level 6. He's only level 5. I don't know if maybe this is based on a different Flame Swordsman. And you know what I mean? Because that's a 6 and that one's a 5. I don't know. But anyway, you cannot normal summon or set this guy. Must first be special summoned with Max Metalmorph that was activated by attributing a level 5 or higher warrior. You can reveal this card in your hand and add one card that mentions Max Metalmorph from your deck to your hand. So he is the probably the best of the searchers because he just flat out says, you can reveal this card in your hand, add a Max Metalmorph, and then you shuffle him back. So, I mean, out of all the searchers, like this is getting you one of like three traps. This is getting you one of three traps. This is getting you, well, one of three traps. This is getting you anything. So this is probably the more superior of the monster searchers. Off to Metal Illusionist. The original card here is Copycat. So when this card first came out, it was called Metal. I think it was Metal Copycat because it's based on Copycat, and we haven't. Like when I first started playing this deck, it had yet to like really be like translated. Like we were just going based off the rough translations when I played this deck last, and this became Metal Illusionist, which ironically, it's a spellcaster and not an illusion monster. So go figure that one. Why they didn't just make it illusion just for the heck of it. I don't know. But you can increase this card's level by 4 during your opponent's turn only. you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this is normal or special summon, you can set one Metalmorph trap from your deck. Then, if Max Metalmorph is in your graveyard, you can draw one card. You can declare one other monster type. This card become that type until the end of the turn. So the point of this card was like a retrain of Copycat, which kind of like reflected, like this card would reflect one of your opponent's monsters. Like it would capture the reflection of one of your opponent's monsters, and then you would like kind of become that. Like at least in the anime, I'm pretty sure this thing would like become the monster, but like in metal form or something. So basically, this is kind of mirroring that somewhat. Um, but this was like the first rough draft support. I feel like there's so much more you can do with this deck. They could have given this deck such a better normal summon, and we're gonna kind of get to the monsters below here because it's that's what we're here for. And last, incoming machine. That's just actually a solid searcher. Just add a max Metalmorph, not once per turn, by the way. The once per turn effect is you can banish this card, then target one defense mode monster your opponent controls, change face of attack. That's once per turn, but the search on this card is not once per turn, which is actually pretty nice. So then we have Metalmorph, we have the original, we have Rare, and then we have Max. Max is the newest card, and then you have Flame Coating Metalmorph, which is like relatively new. It's another Metalmorph retrain, and then last we have Time Engine, which is a retrain of Time Machine. So looking at the bottom monsters here, like I said, I want to see a split from this deck to support both Bandit Keith and Joey Wheeler. So we have some Bandit Keith cards down here we're going to talk about and Joey Wheeler cards, but we have one card that is extracurricular of both of them, and I think this could just be a really good generic piece for the deck. I want to say this was played by Johnny Steps in like between Duelist Kingdom and Battle City. He used Metalmorph and made, I think it was Heavy Metal King. It was Musician King. I think it was Musician King equipped with Metalmorph, and he became Heavy Metal King. So I think that would be like a cool addition. I think you could see that in either. You could see Joey or Bandit Keith playing Heavy Metal King in both of their decks. Like that would be sick. But I want to see a retrain of Zero the Mant, and I think that Zero the Mant has probably the best chance of getting an actual retrain because it's not a machine monster, but it's something that Bandit Keith played that was a fiend. So I could see them making like Metal Zero, like or Metal Zero the Mant, something to the aspect of that. Um, I'm kind of what's the word here? I'm kind of like mulling these over, but I have a feeling that we'll probably never see these. But this is kind of my wish list for Bandit Keith retrades. Thought Machine, Launcher Spider, Pendulum Machine, and Barrel Dragon. Barrel Dragon might be kind of difficult because we got Desperado Barrel Dragon not that long ago. And these might be difficult because a lot of the things included in Metalmorph either aren't machines that become machines, okay, or they're just not machines. So, like in the archetype, we have Metal Illusionist, which is a spellcaster, and we have the Red Eyes Metal Claw Dragon, which are both dragon and spellcaster that then can be upgraded to a machine. If the monsters are already machines, you know what I mean? There would be no point to metal morphing them. But anyway, I would love to see a retrain of Slot Machine that could somehow assist the archetype. Maybe a new retrain of Launcher Spider that could like destroy stuff on field. Maybe Pendulum Machine. I don't think they do anything ridiculous like make that an actual pendulum monster. But it would just be cool to see these four retrained and then ported into the Metalmorph deck. So that way, or even if they just got regular retrains and then, they could still be played with Metalmorph, that'd be cool. After the Joey stuff, I really would love to see a Thousand Dragon retrain, maybe Metal Thousand Dragon. Um, doesn't have to be a fusion monster. You know what I mean? Like look at Metal Flame Swordsman. Doesn't have to be a fusion monster. This can be a monster in the main deck. That maybe for example, what we could do is kind of replace the effects of the other characters. So like maybe Thousand Dragon in the Joey deck could replace Metal Zoa X. You know what I mean? Like maybe we could do like a swap like that, like give similar effects to both sets of monsters, and then you could remove the Bandit Keith piece and then replace it with the Joey piece for that deck. Um, Gearfried the Gearfried the Swordsman. I mean, I know the original it was Gearfried the Iron Knight, but he still wasn't a machine, so I could see this actually happening. I could see them, maybe Metal Gearfried, or Gearfried the Metal Master, something cool like that. Basically, I mean, since he already kind of has a target and destroy, you could maybe make him the new Metal Zoa X for Joey's deck. So like this would be the negate, and then you could summon this out, and this would be a destroy. Alligator Sword, I would love to see a metal morphed Alligator Sword, and the only reason I specifically picked this card is because whenever I was a kid, I had a Yu-Gi-Oh. I had a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh toys, okay, but I had an Alligator Sword that was metallic, and I really think it would be sick to see like a metal morphed Alligator Sword, kind of similar to like the Flame Swordsman. And since we're porting Copycat, like maybe we could also port Time Wizard and maybe give him some like I don't even know what effects to give these. Like throughout this series, like I have the idea of Konami making these retrains, but I don't even know what where to start with some of these. And I feel like maybe Konami kind of doesn't know where to start with a lot of their retrains and just support either, because like if you don't play this deck as often as I probably should to even be making a video on it, I don't even like what does it need? Like it obviously needs a good on summon search. It obviously needs some decent special summons, but like how do you take this and make it that? You know what I mean? And the one last card I'm gonna talk about is Grave Robber. I would really love to see a Metalmorph Grave Robber that maybe like steals something from your opponent, okay, and then you could Metalmorph it, like maybe like take a monster your opponent controls and then equip it with like a Metalmorph from deck or something, and then it remains yours. Like that would be cool. But guys, that's gonna do it for this series for right now. Unless there's any other Duel Monsters era decks that I, you know, am itching to kind of like want to create support for. Um, but yeah, I think that I really enjoy these. I really enjoy what they did with these decks, and I kind of hope that they don't stop. I hope that they keep taking older like Duel Monsters era decks, and then giving them these updates, giving them these retrains, giving them these things that I mean, it's really awesome to see like these older cards become usable. Well, not so much the older cards become usable, but like the older cards get retrained into usable cards. Because I mean, I don't think that Metal Zoa or sorry, or the original Zoa was ever usable. Actually, looking at that card, is that an 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 7. That's better than Dark Magician. I wonder why that was never really popular. I mean, I guess because like technically you could just summon out Summon Skull, which was one tribute. You know what I mean? That's why Summon Skull was always better than Dark Magician. But that is 2600 attack. That's interesting. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm ranting. Slifer, Slacker, out.